So in yesterday's class, we tried to see how constructor chaining can happen, like calling one constructor, how it can call the parent class constructors and all, and how you can customize a call to a parent class constructor. Like when I say customizing, by default, if you call a Mustang constructor with one parameter or with zero parameters or anything, by default, all those constructors will call the parent class default constructor only. But here we try to customize it by saying that, hey, don't call the default constructor, rather call the parent class constructor which can take in an argument. That is what we did. And also we saw like if the Mustang constructor means any constructor in Mustang class or any other class, if it wants to call its own constructors, then is there a way like super? Yes, there is a way like super, that is nothing but this helps in calling the constructors of the current class. Okay, so we saw two things like how super and how this works. Now let me show a simple example with related to methods, how you can use the concept of super. Okay, so for that example, I would like to go back to the concept of extents, where the simplest example, okay, let me close other classes. The simplest example that we saw is like we have an account class and savings account class. So let me just create a class. Duplicate or some class I created a class, or let me make something more meaningful. Account demo, some class name. Account demo has nothing to do with account.java. Both are two different classes. Okay, so created a main method in this account demo.java. So whatever I'm going to explain here is all an old concept. Okay, I say account ACC equal to new account. Now I say ACC dot get interest rate. Then savings account SACC equal to new savings account. Then ACC dot get interest rate. Now answer to the question. At line number 8, which the method get interest in which class will be called, and at line number 11 the get interest in which class will be called. Two answers I need, both line number 8 and line number 11. Okay. What happened to others? No answer, no reply at all. Okay. So my question is, at line number 8, 11 and 14 I am calling get interest rate methods. The methods are present in specific classes. So which class method will be called for line number 8 and for line number 11 and for line number 14? The methods in which class will be called is the question. So this is account.java. This is savings account.java. And this is checking account.java. So account, savings account and checking account. Okay. That's wrong answer, Padma. That's fine. Just try the answer. So someone told that at 8 it is account class is what is told. Okay, that is correct. So 11 savings account, that is correct. 14, what is the answer? 14 it is account class. Very good. That's the correct answer. Okay. So notice here team, whenever I say account ACC dot get interest rate, it means I'm calling a method which is present in the account class. So it is well and good. This method is called. Now when I say SACC dot get interest rate, then it will go and check in savings account if there is a method called get interest rate or not. In savings account, if I go inside, yes, I see a method called get interest rate. So the get interest rate in the savings account will be called. Now, the last thing, when I say checking account object dot get interest rate, then for this one, it calls the method in the checkings in account. But is there a method called get interest in checkings account? No, there is no method here. So what happens for checkings account scenario? It goes to the parent class and it calls the parent class get interest rate method. Okay. So that is the method which will be called for you. Now, I hope this is clear. Now, the scenario here is at line number 11, when I call get interest rate, it calls the get interest rate method in the savings account. It will not call the method in account class, which means the method get interest rate in savings account is hiding the parent class method. Okay, what is this concept called? Very good. It is nothing but method overriding concept. Okay. Now the next thing, whenever you say get interest rate, it is hiding the features of the parent class. Okay. Now, if suppose if the business requirement is something like whenever you want to call the parent, whenever you want to call the get interest rate in the savings account, make sure that you go ahead and call the parent class get interest rate also. Okay, you need to call the parent class get interest rate also. If that is the requirement, then what you can do is you can use a keyword called super. Okay, so when I say super dot get interest rate, okay, get interest rate which is double, returning double, and it is present in account class. So let me do one thing, let me comment out line number 8. I'm just commenting out line number 8, and I would like to execute. I'll comment everything else. I'll only explain the scenario of line number 11 initially. Okay, so let me run line number 11. When I execute line number 11, the output would be get interest rate in savings account class is called customizing the business logic for Christmas season. This is the output because this method is being called. Now, if the business requirement says that call the parent class method, execute the functionality in the parent class method, and also execute your own functionality. If that is the requirement, how can you call the parent class method? Ideally, we understood that the parent class method is being hidden by the child class method because of method overriding concept. Now, if I want to call, then I use a keyword called super, and I say super dot get interest rate, which means now I'm trying to call the parent class get interest rate method. If I go back to account demo and execute this functionality, if I click on this execute, run. If I click on this run, see the output. Did you notice here? Get interest rate in account class is called, which means the parent class get interest rate is called, then the child class get interest rate method is being called. So two methods are being called, both the child class and the parent class, because of the keyword super. Okay, so is that clear to everyone? How you can call the parent class methods and all. Okay, so why? Because overriding concept hides the functionalities. But if you say like, hey, if the functionality is like I need all the parent class functionalities, then you keep on writing super, and in the super class you can again go and write a super so that it can call its super class method, something like that. So using a keyword called super, you can make a call to the parent class methods. Okay, and there is one more concept that I would like to say. So I say super dot get account balance AA11. So why I told this example at line number 9 is, many people might think that using super you can only call the exact same method in the parent class. That's what many people might think, but that's not the scenario. Super means the parent class. The parent class, any method can be called. So like get interest rate or get account balance, anything you can call from this method. Okay, let me take that question. So super points to immediate parent or the topmost parent in case of multi-level inheritance. That's a good question, right? So super means only one level above it. Okay. So in general, like in college, like or school, you say senior, super senior, like that, right? So super means one more level above that. So here, okay, maybe don't consider that example. That might be a bad example in this scenario. But assume that super means only one level above it. Okay, I hope that's clear for you, for everyone else. Okay, so using super, exactly, it's only the immediate one in the hierarchy. That's correct. So super dot get interest rate or super dot get account balance, anything, any of the parent class methods can be called. Okay, so maybe the next thing that I would like to explain here. So when I say this, which means the current class object, using the current class object, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to call a method in the current class. Okay, method 1, this dot method 1 I can call. Why? Because in this current context, this refers to the current class object, and in the current class, apart from get interest rate, you do have other method also called as method 1. So you can call that method 1 using this. And notice that whatever keywords that I'm using, super and this, they are different from what we saw yesterday. Like in Mustang class, if you notice, the way that I used super is not like super dot. It is directly super and brackets. It means this is a call to the constructor. But if you want to call a method, then you use super dot, or if in the current class, any other method, this dot. So just notice the difference, the way in which you are using them. And the next thing, the next difference that you need to observe is, in a constructor, if you want to make a call to the superclass constructor or the current class constructor, you can use only one at a time, like either a super or either a this in a constructor. You cannot combine both, or you cannot use multiple supers, or you cannot use multiple this, right? That is the same way, if you notice the super and this here, you can write super as many number of times as you want, and you can use this also as many number of times as you want at any line in the method. It need not be the first line always, but if it is a call to the constructor, then it must be the first line in the hierarchy. Okay, so I hope that concept is clear to everyone. Yeah, if you say like can we call the topmost level in the hierarchy, again you need to see how many levels of hierarchy you have. If you say you have 5 levels of hierarchy, and if you want to call the topmost level method from the current class, there are multiple ways. Either you can create an object and you can call it. If not, you need to go in the hierarchical way, like super dot, super dot, super dot, like that. You need to do that. Okay. So maybe let me show an example for that in this current scenario. So whatever the answer, whatever I told here, basically defaults also you can say, not default, but it depends on your understanding. Public void method 2. So answer to my question. Special, or maybe let me explain here. Special savings account has a parent of savings account, and savings account has a parent called account. So savings account, sorry, account, savings account, and special savings account. This is the hierarchy. Now answer to my question. Super dot get interest rate. Which method will be called when I say super dot get interest rate? Is it the method in the account class or is it the method in the savings account? That's good. It calls the savings account class. Why? Because that is the next immediate hierarchy in this class, right? Now the next question. When I say super dot get account balance, which method will be called? Which means, I'm sorry, the method in which class will be called. Excellent. Which means the account class method is called. So in this context, what are you trying to do? You are calling an account balance which is present in the topmost hierarchy. Okay. So the concept here is at any point of time, if you don't see, observe the difference between line number 6 and line number 7. If if the method is present in the immediate parent, then super will call only the immediate parent. Okay. Yeah. That's a kind of like overriding. That's what. See, get interest rate is present in the immediate parent, right? So get interest will in the immediate parent only will be called. But account balance is present in the topmost hierarchy of the class, where you never ever try to override that method. So the get account balance in the account class will be called in this context. Okay. So I hope the answer to your question is clear now. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So if the concepts are clear, then we are going to the next and the most important concept uh, in Java. So there are two steps to go there. The first one, we need to understand why are we using method 1 and method 2. That's a good question. Method 1 and method 2 I'm just using to explain a logic here. Okay, nothing specific with those methods, method 1 and method 2, nothing specific. Like means I just want to show that I can have multiple methods in this, like I can have public void m3, as well I can have multiple methods. So from m3 I want to show if I can call the parent class methods or not. That is what my target is. So from this class, from this method, I can call the parent class methods. Okay, clear with that concept? Okay, that's good. Now the next concept. So before we go to that actual concept, let's try to understand what forces us to go to the next level or a different concept. I don't want to tell the name of the concept now, but first let me explain certain restrictions. It's not a restriction, like that is how the principles are laid out. So let us understand one of the principles. It is something called as multiple inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is allowed in Java through classes, but multiple inheritance is not allowed. So multi-level means topmost account, below that account we have, yeah, I'll do that. So topmost is account, then below that is savings account, and below that it is uh, special savings account. Like that, it is a hierarchy like grandparent, parent, and child. So that is allowed in Java, that is multi-level. But what is not allowed in Java is multiple inheritance, which means you trying to, or one child trying to extend from multiple classes is not allowed in Java. So let's see why it is not allowed in Java. So let me create a package called com.easylearnjava multi-level inheritance, and here I say player. Okay, so in this class let me write a simple method, okay, like public void playing song, play song method in player class. Next, format the code, control shift F. Then I'm creating one more class called CD player, and the parent class for CD player is player. Right, finish. So CD player extends player. Now in this class I created an object for CD player. Now answer my question. By using a reference variable CD, can I call any methods? Okay, that's good. What about others? So the answer no is a wrong answer. Yes, okay, is the correct answer. So can you tell me what is the method that you can call using CD? Okay, play song. Very good. Okay, so Padma, can you tell me why or what is the method that we can call using CD and why?
I think there is a method in player.java which is pointing to play song, and this is a parent class for CD player. So uh, as the content of player Java is as it is the as it is having extent of player.java, it will have all the content which is pointing to CD.
So by using a variable CD, what are the methods that I can call now?
Play song.
Play song. And if you, yeah, that's good. And if everyone followed the concept that we discussed yesterday, it is not only the play song which is present in the player class that you can also call all the methods which are present in the object class. But right now we are not interested in the object class, but I'm just trying to explain the scenario that CD, or using a reference variable CD, you can call all the methods in the parent classes because of the keyword extends, since the CD player is extending from the player class and the object class. All the methods in the parent class can be called by this CD reference variable. So now I say CD dot player. So before I write this, understand one scenario. The current class is CD player class, and okay, uh, I think whatever concept I explained till now is absolutely right, but there is a small tweak that I want to change in the code actually, because for better explanation purpose, play song in the CD player class. Okay, the concept whatever we are looking here is right team, but just see here, I just changed something. So I do have a class called CD player, in which it has a method called play song method in CD player class. Okay, well and good. Now I do have a class called player, and it extends from CD player. Okay, now player p equal to new player. Now everyone tell me, what is the method that I can call using the reference variable p?
Everything in the parent class?
Yeah, everything in the parent class. So just understand that maybe we will be looking only into CD player right now. So the method that we can call is play song. Okay, yeah, that's good. Everyone is correct. Their answers. So p dot play song is called. Okay, now answer my question. The reference variable p is of what type?
Type player.
Type player. Very good. Now p is of type player. Now the next question. At line number 8, the reference variable p, which is of type player, is calling a method play song. So which class play song method will be called? CD player. Okay, CD player. So is that clear till that point? Okay, now comes the tricky part. See, for the tricky part, the next part. So I do have a class called DVD player. Okay, so we already have a class called CD player, we know, and then I do have a class called DVD player. In that DVD player also there is a method called play song. Okay, there is a method called play song. Now the next concept that I'm trying to explain here is why Java does not allow multiple inheritance, which means one class cannot extend from multiple classes. So the class player is extending from one class. Well and good. But what Java will not allow is, it cannot do this. DVD play. It cannot extend from multiple classes. So that is the reason why it started complaining. But let us assume that for our understanding purpose, let us assume that Java allows multiple inheritance. So it can extend from CD player and it can extend from DVD player also. Let us assume that. Now answer my question. If the scenario at line number 3 is valid, if it is valid, at line number 8, which class play song will be called? What is the answer? Both. Okay. So that's good that you tried, but the answer is it is ambiguous. That's where ambiguity will cause. Okay. The answer is it will never ever call any of the method. Means the first of all the answer is the scenario like this is invalid. Why it is invalid is at line number 8 the place for play song it gets confused. Hey, do I need to call the play song in CD player or do I need to call the play song in DVD player? Why? Because both the parent classes has the play song method. So it gets confused which one to be called. Since it cannot understand, this scenario is kind of a depth of diamond problem, the technical term which is given to that, which means like it cannot understand or it cannot resolve which parent to be used for calling that specific method, since the method is present in both the classes. So that is an ambiguous situation. So that is the reason why Java will never ever allow multiple inheritance in Java through classes. Okay, using the classes. So CD player is a class, DVD player is a class. Using classes you can never achieve multiple inheritance in Java. Is this concept clear to everyone? What is the problem that I'm trying to explain? Okay, awesome. Now the next scenario, why exactly I tried to explain this problem is, let us assume that player extends CD player extends DVD player. Okay, so you can write that scenario, Ravi. That's correct. So you can say player extends CD player and CD player extends DVD player. But ideally, when you are designing your classes, you need to design in such a way that CD player cannot extend from DVD player, right? Why? Because CD player has its own features, DVD player has its own features in real-time world, if you notice, right? So ideally or logically, if you want to extend, it's not the right solution, but let me explain why I told that scenario there. Okay, so the scenario is, let us assume that there is a player named ABC. So the ABC player, he can play football, he can play volleyball, he can play basketball. So let us assume that I have defined three different classes, like football player, cricket player, volleyball player. Like that, three different classes I have created, and ABC, since he can play all the three classes, he wants to inherit from multiple classes. Okay, he wants to inherit features from all the three classes. The next question to everyone is, will Java allow the ABC player to inherit all the three class properties? Okay, the answer is no. Very good. Which means even though if you want to inherit all the features from multiple classes, Java is not allowing. Why it is not allowing? Because of this problem, it is not allowing you to extend from multiple classes. Now, the next question is, suppose if I have a scenario like that, like player wants to extend from or get the features from multiple classes. Is there a way that Java allows you to do that? Yes, there is a way Java allows you to do that or to provide a solution for that kind of problem. But what is the solution? We will see later in the next concept that we are going to understand. Okay, now is everyone clear with the problem statement that we are trying to address? Okay, yes, that's good. I want to create one more package, com dot easylearn java dot interface is demo. That's what I told. Then here I will create a class called animal. Okay. So let us try to understand the same old problem here and try to solve the problem. Okay. So I do have a class called animal and I do have a class called tiger. Tiger extends animal, right? Tiger gets all the features from animal. And a class called cat. So okay, let me do this also. Extends animal. So tiger is a wild animal, but cat is a pet animal, something like that. But both are considered as kind of some animals. Okay. Now, since both are considered as animals, what I want to do is I want to identify certain common features that both tiger and cat consist, and I want to write them in a parent class so that I can reuse those functionalities every time. Okay. So for that, what I do, let me go to an animal class and define some common functionalities for the animals. So I say public void eat animal is eating. Means you can define as many number of methods you want or as many number of what is the methods for animals you can define here. Public void sleep. Okay, so to understand this concept that I'm going to explain here, you need to have a good level of understanding towards the extends concept, the abstract class concept also. Okay, so I can write n number of methods like eat, sleep, jump, drink water, whatever. Okay, so right now I'm restricting it to two methods, so eat and sleep. So now both the methods will be given to tiger class because it is extending animal, and to cat class because it is again extending animal. So now I have a class called demo. So in this demo class, okay, animal A equal to new animal is what I wrote. Now the next concept that what you can say is like, hey, animal, since you say like I cannot think of any specific animal at this current instance of time, because animal means either a tiger, a lion, or a deer, or a cat, or a dog. Since it is not clear, I want the user to restrict from creating an object for the animal class. So if you want to restrict from creating an object for animal class, how can you do that? What is the solution that we know? Abstract class. Very good. So I will make animal as abstract class. Now the next question to everyone: can an abstract class contain zero abstract methods? Yes or no? Very good, Padma. That's the right answer. An abstract class can contain zero abstract methods. I'm not sure, like, if you remember the concept that I explained in previous class. Okay, so an abstract class can contain zero methods or only concrete methods or only abstract methods or a combination of both abstract and right. Okay, yeah, just the same old concept. That is the reason why you need to understand the previous concept well to get a good hold of the ongoing topics actually. Okay, because everything in Java, like all these base concepts, are interrelated with one another. Okay, so now I'm going to make this class as abstract. Okay, Now notice here, making a class abstract does not mean that it must contain an abstract method. Okay, it need not contain an abstract method. If you notice here, there are no abstract methods in my class, but the only reason for making the class abstract is I want to restrict the users from creating an object for this animal class. Okay, so that's the only reason. So I made it as abstract. Now, the next question to everyone. Animal class is abstract. Well and good. Now, tiger extends animal. Now, is the class tiger and class cat, which are extending animal, are they both abstract or concrete classes? Okay. What about others? Okay. Half of you told the right answer, half told the wrong. The answer is tiger and cat. Before I explain the answer, tell me, are there any abstract methods for tiger or cat? Yes or no? As simple as that. There are no no abstract methods for tiger and cat, right? So since there are no abstract methods, will the classes be abstract or concrete? Very good. The classes will be concrete classes. Okay. So you make the class only abstract when there are abstract methods. If not, if you want to make abstract. We made animal as abstract because animal I cannot correlate with any real world object. So I made animal as abstract. But tiger, I am not making it as abstract. Why? Because I know how a tiger looks like. I know the features of a tiger. Okay. So that is the reason why tiger or cat, they are not made as abstract classes. Now, the next concept. Tiger is extending animal and cat is extending animal. Well and good. Now, tiger t equal to new tiger t dot eat t dot sleep. Cat c equal to new cat c dot e c dot sleep. Control shift F, format the code. Okay. Now the next question here is, like tiger and cat both are calling these two methods. So these two methods are nothing but the methods present in the animal class. Well and good. Everything looks good to you now. So if I execute it, animal is eating, animal is sleeping, animal is eating, animal is sleeping. Okay, that's what you get. Now the next thing, if I want a feature called kill human beings, if I want to have a feature called kill human beings, can I write that kill human beings feature here? Yes or no? I'm talking with respect to a design principle. Means I'm talking. I'm keeping in mind how I can design my classes. I'm not interested in seeing like whether I can write that code here or not. Yes, that's correct. Logically, yes or no. That's what my question. Logically, no is the answer. That's correct. So, can someone tell me why writing kill human beings method functionality is not right here? Very good, everyone. Why? Because understand the problem. Means everyone almost told the right answer. The problem here is I gave three human beings in functionality. I declared the functionality in the animal class. So since animal is being inherited or extended by two classes like tiger and cat, both classes will get the features called kill human beings. Now, killing the human beings, is it valid for tiger? Means not only for human beings, kill, uh, I say kill for survival, okay, or kill for food, or kill for survival. Okay, no, let me just keep kill human beings itself, nothing to worry about. So kill human beings, is it a valid method for tiger or not? Yes or no? Okay, that's good. It is a valid method for tiger. So you might think that since it is a valid method for tiger, and maybe if you have a lion, if you have a fox or something like that, if you have all those animals, you might think that okay, I have some 10 kinds of wild animals, so for all those wild animals kill human beings is a valid method, so I can write the method here so that I can reuse the functionality. That is what you might think, right? That is what you might think and might say that this is a valid scenario. Now, understand the other side of the concept. In an animal hierarchy, it's not always the wild animals. There are pet animals also. There are wide variety of animals where there are pet animals also, like a cat, dog, a rabbit, a parrot. All these things are pet animals. Okay, leave parrot, but the other things are pet animals. Now, if I say kill human beings, is this method logically correct for a cat or not? Yeah, the answer is no. So since it is no, what we do is we understood that designing the animal class with kill human beings in this way is not the right approach in the designing of our application. So what we decided, so this is not the right solution. Okay, that is what we decided and said okay, so this is not the right approach, so I want to remove this approach. Now, the next approach that I think here is, I say that, okay, since I have given the implementation here, it is being inherited to everyone. So this is wrong. So let me make this as abstract method. Okay. So what I say, public abstract kill human beings. Now kill human beings is a method. One second. So kill human beings is a method which is abstract now. So now I go to tiger class and say that okay, tiger class can give implementation to that kill human beings. So I come here, I make it as kill human beings, I implement it. Well and good. But I go to cat class and say that okay, cat does not want those features of kill human beings. So I will not implement the cat class, sorry, the kill human beings in cat class. So I will make the cat class as abstract itself. Okay. So is this solution a valid solution that you gave or not? Yes or no? So why? Because you are using wherever you want and you are not implementing wherever you don't want. Okay, yeah. Azim, I'm just repeating the scenario. So what happened at line number 13 to 15? 13 to 15, you have defined a method along with its implementation. Okay, so the implementation said that kill all human beings. Now, if the same implementation is given to cat, it is logically a wrong scenario. So what we decided, giving an implementation is not the right approach. So I made it as abstract. like kill human beings, and since kill human beings is a valid method in Tiger, I went to Tiger class and implemented the abstract method. So kill all human beings. But once I came to the cat class, since in the cat class it cannot kill human beings, so this method I don't want to implement in the cat class. Since I don't want to implement in the cat class, I just made the class also as abstract so that the error is gone now. Okay, so I'm not implementing the method here in the cat class. Why? Because I don't need it, but I need it here, so I'm implementing it here. So with this approach of line number 17, I'm implementing this method wherever I want, and I'm leaving the method implementation wherever I don't want it. Basically, in all the wild animals I can implement this method, and in all the pet animals I need not implement this method. Rather, I will make all the pet animals as abstract classes. Okay. So is this a valid way of coding or not? Yes or no? Okay. Sai said no. So what is the reason, Sai, why it is no?
Earlier you said,
I'm sorry, Sai. Anyone?
so earlier you said the cat is not an abstract class because we know what a cat looks like and how it behaves. So by that logic alone, you can't make cat an abstract.
Exactly. Excellent answer. So whatever scenario that I explained, it might look that we have done the right way of coding, but that is not the right way of coding. Why? Why? Because just now we understood that cat and tiger are something which I can correlate with the real world actual objects. When I say cat, I know how cat looks like. So is it right to make the cat class abstract? Yes or no? Is it a valid coding standard that I did? So that's good. So making a class abstract is not the valid solution, right? That's good. Now the solution that I provided here is also not a valid scenario. So let me comment out here. Okay, I will remove abstract here, and I will remove tiger here for time being, but I will explain that later. Okay, so which means a method called kill human beings is a method which does not fit in the hierarchy of animal, which means since the method kill human beings is only specific to certain kind of animals, you cannot place those methods in the parent class or in the topmost hierarchy or in the animal class. Why? Because that breaks the design. So first of all, is that problem clear to everyone? Like what is happening if you write kill human beings in animal class? Okay, awesome. Now the next concept. So now we understood that kill human beings cannot be written in animal. Now here the next problem that we are trying to understand here is tiger is a class which has the features like eat and sleep, and the tiger says that hey, I need more features like kill human beings, hunt animals, uh, or kill other animals. Like that there are many wild animal features that I want to get. So tiger needs more methods here. Can you write all those methods in animal class? No, you cannot write. Why? Because they are a kind of wild animal features, right? The same way cat can have certain features like play with human beings, uh, go to a walk with human beings, then sleep with human beings, sit with human beings. Like that, it can have multiple methods. Can I write all those pet animal feature methods in animal class? No, I cannot write. Why? Because again it breaks the hierarchy. Why? Because those pet animal features are not suitable for tiger. Okay, so I cannot write it there. So is there a way that cat can get all those features also from someone else? Yes. If you say that, okay, extending the same example again. So let me give you one more solution. So these two solutions, you said that it is not feasible. So what the next solution what I show here is, I create a class wild animal features, and in wild animal features I write this class. So all the wild animal features that I want, I will be writing here. So apart from these methods, eat and sleep, if tiger wants to get these methods also, okay, if it wants to get these methods also, answer my question now. Can the tiger extend animal and wild animal features class, both the classes? Yes or no? Very good. The answer is no, which means the next solution that we saw is again not a feasible solution in the scenario. Like the first solution is writing a method or implementing a method in the parent class which is not suitable for every child class is the wrong solution. Making that one as an abstract is the wrong solution. Creating a different class and writing all the features and trying to extend to a tiger class is again a wrong solution. Why? Because tiger is already extending from animal, so it cannot extend from wild animal anymore. So this is also a wrong solution. Why? Because Java does not allow multiple inheritance. Okay, so none of the features or none of the solutions that we thought till now are feasible for this problem. So what is the next step, or what is the way to find a solution for this problem? Anyone? Any guess? Just a guess. I know I did not explain this concept, but that's correct. Very good. The concept is nothing but interfaces. Interfaces solve the problem in these scenarios. Okay, let us see how interfaces solve the problem. Okay, so now before I explain how to give a solution for this problem, I told a statement, or I made a statement called something like interfaces solve this problem, right? So now let us understand what is an interface first and then come back and see the solution for this problem. Okay, so like a class, I know everyone can create a class using this feature called class. The next thing that we see here is something called as an interface, which is nothing but which shows like an I symbol. So you can create an interface. For now, I just gave a name called dummy. Okay. So the only difference that you see here in the declaration is instead of a keyword called class, it shows a keyword called interface. Okay. Now, the first and the foremost thing that you need to understand is you can never ever create an object for an interface. Cannot create an object for interface. Why you cannot create? Let's look at here. An interface means 100% achieving 100% abstraction. So what is that 100% abstraction? We will see. Okay, just a second. Now, in this shape class, how many abstract methods are there? How many concrete methods are there? One and one. Very good. Which means maybe you can say 50-50. 50% abstract, 50% concrete, right? So if I can give a simple example here, this concept shows that the method calculate area is an abstract method, print color is a concrete method. So shape has achieved 50% abstraction. Okay. Now if I go back to dummy.java, so in dummy.java as an interface, I can write only abstract methods in Java. I can never ever write any method out there like a concrete method. So if I say public, so let me take the same old example like a shape. So let me copy these two methods. The first one is an abstract method, calculate area. Okay, I'll come back and explain here. Calculate area. So Control V, Control Shift F, format the code. Good. So line number 8 is good. So I say line number 6, method 6. When I write line number 10, okay, it shows an error to me, which means in an interface, you can never ever write a concrete method. All the methods in an interface, okay, all the methods in an interface are by default public and abstract. So if I want to write a method in interface, it will be abstract by default. So I need not use these two keywords also. So I can write an abstract method like this, double m1, or I can say public void m2, or I can say abstract void or int or anything, int m3. See here team, 8, 9, 10, 11 are exactly the same things, which means here I wrote public abstract, but I did not write here public abstract. Here I just wrote public, I skipped abstract. Here I only wrote abstract but skipped public. But every method has the same access modifier public by default, and also the abstract keyword by default in an interface. Interface means 100% abstraction, which means every method out there in an interface will be an abstract method only. Clear? What is an interface? Okay. So there is a clause here which, yeah, complete abstraction side, that's correct. There is a clause here. I don't want to explain, or I don't want to stress more on that clause. Why? Because sometimes you get confused with that. Till the version of Java that we are looking into is 1.8. Okay, Java version 1.8 till 1.7 version. Okay, till 1.7 version, the concept of interfaces, whatever I have explained right now, is exactly the same as it is. But from 1.8, slightly they have tweaked it, and they have introduced methods, something called as default methods. Along with abstract methods, in an interface, you can create default methods which look like a concrete method, okay, which look like a concrete method, but they are not called as concrete methods. They are called as default methods. Maybe this concept, maybe you can go back and whenever you get some time, go back and explore like what are default methods and how to write. Means writing a default method is nothing specific. You can write exactly like a concrete method, but you need to use a keyword called default and all. So that is allowed in Java 1.8 version only. Okay, but hardly like even when you go to interviews, people, the current industry standard is still 1.7 and 1.6 only. Hardly anyone is using 1.8 version, but slowly people are migrating to 1.8 because of lot of new and inbuilt features in 1.8. So, but still maybe at a technical perspective, if you want to learn more of this stuff, then understanding default methods makes sense. And at an interview perspective, also when sometimes people ask like, hey, did you explore 1.8 and did you see any new features in 1.8? Maybe you can tell one of these things as a point where you can write a default method in interface and all. But for now, let's keep the concept simple and try to understand the concept. So interface means 100% abstraction, which means every method you write out there is an abstract method. Okay, so next question. Since all the methods are abstract, can you create an object for an interface? Answer is no, as simple as that. Okay, now coming back to our example like animal, tiger, cat and all these scenarios, let us try to see how I can achieve a solution to the problem that we are thinking. What is the problem? How can a tiger class get features from multiple places, like from one from animal and the other one from other things and all? Okay. So now let me create an interface called wild animal and one more interface called pet animal. Okay, there are two interfaces that I've created called wild animal and pet animal. So what I do in wild animal is I will write all the features of wild animals in this interface, and I will tell in future if anyone wants to get the features of wild animals, like for a cat, for a lion or a fox or a tiger or any other leopard or any other wild animal, if they want to get all the features, I will tell, hey, all the features are defined at one location, which is nothing but an interface called wild animal interface. So you can go there and get all the methods. That's what I say. Okay, so here what I do is I let me just use these things. So since I'm writing concrete methods, it started complaining. Okay, see, don't think that since I did not write a keyword called abstract, it is not an abstract method. Don't think that. This is an abstract class, but in an interface, you need not use that keyword. Okay, not in a regular class. Okay, in a regular class, if you are writing an abstract method, you must use a keyword called abstract, but here you need not use it. So kill human beings and hunt is what I told are abstract methods. Now, the next thing that I say here is pet animal. So in a pet animal, I would like to define pet features like void, play with humans, or void, sit with humans, void, go for a walk in public place. like that. I am writing multiple methods. Okay. So all are the features of pet animals. That's what I say. Now let me say that I do have one more feature. I want to give some more features like taking to a fashion show. So when I say a fashion show, so in a fashion show, I can take an animal to a fashion show. Ideally, let us assume that only pet animals can be taken to a fashion show. So I say why lock on gram why cluster or get makeup like that. Any number of methods that are valid for a fashion show, all those methods I write here. Okay. Now the next concept that you need to understand here is if the tiger wants to get all the features from animal class, yes, it can get by extending, and also if it wants to get additional features like kill human beings and hunt all these things, it can get it from wild animal in a specific way, that is nothing but extends animal since it is a class and implements wild animal. Yeah, go ahead with the question.
So on the interfaces now, you said we don't have to write abstract, uh, so there is no compiler error even if you write it.
Yeah, that's what I showed in the previous example, right? VSBR is abstract, no error.
Right. So I mean, is it okay if we write it, or I mean, is it a bad practice if we write it?
No, that's what. So even if you write it or don't write it, it's nothing. I cannot say if it's a bad practice or good practice, but Java
Right.
says that since it is an abstract method, you better you skip it so that you can reduce the number of code lines or number of characters that you can write in a class, or you can reduce your amount of work. That's what a simple answer that
Okay.
I can say.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah. Now where is it? Yeah, I'm going to Tiger. I'm continuing with where we left. So Tiger now extends animal and implements an interface. Okay. So notice the difference here, team. A class can extend a class, but it implements an interface so that it can get all the features. Okay. So implements means it is doing with an interface. I'm talking about a class. Now I want every one of you to answer this scenario. Why line number 3 is showing an error? Or else just hold on things. Okay, don't say the answer, just hold on. So Siddharth, can you tell me like why line number 3 is showing an error? Siddharth, you there? Okay. So can anyone tell me like why line number 3 is showing an error? Very good. So next question. Before I explain the solution to the problem, the next question. How many methods a Tiger class can see now? Or how many methods a Tiger class has inherited now?
So there's it inherits from the animal class and then the whatever's in wild animal. So is that 4?
Exactly, it is 4. So in animal, there are 2 methods, eat and sleep, and in wild animal, it has 2 methods, kill human beings and hunt. Okay? So now I'm repeating my question. So answer the question. How many methods, I want the number, how many methods tiger class has inherited? Okay, the answer is wrong, not 2. I just told the answer, it's 4. 2 from the animal class and 2 from the wild animal class. Okay, so again I'm repeating, how many methods the tiger class has got now. 4. Very good. Now the next question, out of those 4 methods, how many are abstract and how many are concrete? 2 and 2. Very good. 2 and 2. Good. Now if you say there are abstract methods in a tiger class, then will the class tiger, will it be concrete or will it be abstract? Okay, I'm repeating the question. Just now everyone said that there are 4 methods in tiger, 2 concrete and 2 abstract. So my question is, if a class tiger has 2 abstract methods, will the class tiger, will it be concrete or abstract? Okay, very good team. The answer is abstract. Okay, so tiger must be abstract. Very good. Now the next question, making a tiger abstract, is it logically right or logically wrong? Logically wrong. Excellent. Now the next question, how can I resolve the problem now then? Excellent. By implementing the unimplemented methods. Okay, unimplemented methods. So now the next question, where are the unimplemented methods coming from? Interface. Very good. So if you go to an animal class, all the methods are implemented, so there is no problem in extending this class. But if you are implementing a wild animal interface, this is where the unimplemented methods are coming from. So if you want to make tiger class as abstract, you need to implement the unimplemented methods. So now I will make one more statement. Tell me if that statement is right or wrong. Okay. If I can override the 2 abstract methods in tiger class, will that be sufficient or not? Yes. No, we need to override. The answer is yes, we need to. Just a second, I'm running out of that. 1 second. Okay, so just continuing with where we left. So the problem here is, since Tiger has some abstract methods which are coming from the wild animal, that is the reason why it is showing an error. So if I can implement the unimplemented methods or the abstract methods, I can resolve the issue. So what I say is, kill human beings is one method. So I say public void kill human beings is out killing human beings for eating. Okay, now question to everyone. Even though I have implemented kill human beings, why Tiger class is still showing an error? Very good. Since there is one more abstract method, okay, so that I need to implement. So what is the other abstract method? There is nothing but hunt. So I say public void hunt this out. I said Tiger is hunting. Control Shift F to format. Okay. Why it is still showing an error? Go to wild animal. Kill human being. Hunt. So kill human beings and hunt. I say. Oh, sorry. Hunt H small t. So H is small. So now the error is gone. Why? Why? Because even in this current scenario also, Tiger can see 4 methods. But all the 4 methods are concrete methods. 2 from the animal class and 2 which are present in the current class, which are hiding the wild animal features. So now if you notice the scenario here, use for the Tiger class, if I want to get the features from somewhere else apart from animal class, yes, it is possible in Java by using interfaces. So let me complete the explanation for cat class also, and then come and explain the next concept here. Okay. So I say cat extends animal, and in this current context, the cat needs the features from pet animal and fashion show, which means it needs multiple features from different classes. So I wrote all those features in interfaces, and I said implements pet animal, comma, fashion show. Okay. So quickly answer my question. So pet animal has 3 methods, fashion show has 3 methods, and animal has 2 methods. So now how many methods are there in cat class? A total of. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone followed it or not. I'm just repeating. Cat is 8 is the right answer. So cat is extending animal, which gives 2 methods, and pet animal it has 3 methods, and fashion show it has 3 methods. So a total of 3 from here, 3 from here, 6, and 2 from here, it is 8. Okay, so 8 methods are there. Now my next question, how many unimplemented methods are there? Quickly. Excellent. There are 6 unimplemented methods. So I can write all the 6 unimplemented methods. But right now, instead of me trying to hard code and write everything, let me use one of the feature given by Eclipse. So what I say is, I will hover my mouse on the error and it shows make type cat abstract, which means you can make the cat class as abstract. So is this a valid solution? Yes or no? The answer is yeah, it's no. So there are two fixes it shows. One is either make cat class abstract or add unimplemented methods is what it shows. So let me use this feature given by the Eclipse framework. So Eclipse IDE. So I said, right, when I use that, it is giving all the methods. It is saying, hey, I am overriding whatever is written at line number 5 or 11 or 17 or 23 is nothing but an annotation. Annotations is something which is introduced in Java 1.5. So annotations will give us a specific meaning about at least a method or something. Means you will slowly understand the use of annotations. But here I'm saying that walk on ramp is a concrete method which is being overridden. So the walk on ramp which is present in the fashion show is being overridden and the implementation is given in the cat class. So I can write n number of methods here, like sysout here, sysout, walking on ramp, sysout, getting dressed up, like that. I can write all these things. But is it clear to everyone like what is happening with interfaces? Like you are able to write all the features at one location, and if your current class wants to get features from multiple classes, then we can go ahead and get all the features by using interfaces. Okay, now the next one, going to the next, since it is clear, going to the next step. Let us assume that,
So when we use implements,
go ahead with the question.
so when we use implements, should we write all the unimplemented methods?
Okay, the answer is no. Okay, so why the answer is no is, I can say that, hey, I don't know how to implement walk on ramp. So I remove walk on ramp and I implement only these methods. Okay. So now if I implement only these methods, there is one method for which I don't know the implementation. So I say that since I don't know the implementation, I will make the class as abstract. Okay. So which means in the current scenario, I implemented only those methods for which I know the implementation, and I left out the methods for which I don't know the implementation. Okay. So let us assume that under cat class, if there is one more class called special cat. So special cat extends cat. In that scenario, if you know the feature of the unimplemented method walk on ramp, then you can implement that walk on ramp in that special cat class, so that the special cat becomes a concrete class. Okay, but ideally in Java, whenever you are trying to design the classes, you need to make sure that at least all the features must be known in the cat class. That is how you design it in such a way. But the answer to your question is, you need not implement all the methods in a child class if you don't know the features. You can still make the child class also as abstract. Clear?
But cat is not. But we're not considering abstract class for cat class.
Exactly. That's what my explanation here is. See, the parent class must be in such a way that all the implementations must be known for the cat class. Okay, so if you are writing in such a way that if you don't know the feature of walk on ramp for cat, which means you are not doing a right design, right? Okay,
Yes.
there are two things that you need to understand here. One at a logical perspective and the one at a coding perspective. At a logical perspective, if you think that cat cannot be abstract, then you need to or you must implement every method here. Why? Because we know cat cannot be abstract. Okay, but at other level, just think in coding terms. At a coding level, if you have 6 abstract methods in the parent, if you know only 3 abstract methods, implement only 3, and you can make the parent always as abstract and you can provide a solution. So in this scenario, I am not talking logically about a class, about cat class. I am talking with respect to how you can write code in Java. Why? Because the same question many people has asked me, like if the parent has abstract methods, should the child class be can the child class contain abstract methods or can it be concrete only? The answer is child class still can contain abstract methods. So let me explain that with a very simple example very quickly, real quickly. So in the concept of interfaces itself, so I write a class A. So in class A, okay, let me make it as an interface A. So I write void m1, which is an abstract method, then void m2, which is an abstract method again, then void m3, which is also an abstract method, three abstract methods. Now I write one more class called B, and B implements A. Okay, B implements A. Now, how many methods that I need to implement in B to make B as concrete? So the answer is three methods I need to implement, M1, M2 and M3. But see here, I say public void M1. So at this point I say that, hey, I know only how to implement M1. I don't know how to implement M2 and M3. So I implement M1 and make class B as abstract. Now I write one more class, class C, and for this I say it extends from class B. That is what I said. So now in class B, when I'm extending from class B, how many methods are coming to class C? Three methods are coming, M1, M2 and M3. Out of M1, M2 and M3, how many are abstract? M2 and M3 are abstract. M1 is concrete. So now here you say you don't know how to implement M2 and M3 also here. So leave this also as abstract again. Now when you go down the hierarchy again, you have, let us assume that you have one more class called D. So D extends from C. So how many methods are coming? Again three methods, M1, M2, M3, where M1 is concrete, M2 and M3 are abstract. Now at this point in the hierarchy, you say that, hey, for class D, I know how to implement M2 and M3. So you say public void M2, you write some implementation whatever you want, and then you say public void M3. You write whatever implementation you want. See here. So now I need not make class D as concrete. So if you see the hierarchy, A is an interface and the immediate child B, it is not a concrete class. Why? Because I only know how to implement M1, so I implemented only M1, so I made B as abstract. Now the child for B is C. Even in C, I don't know how to implement M2 and M3, so I made again class C as abstract. Now the next scenario is D. D is a child for C, where now I can decide in my hierarchy like, hey, for D, I know how to write the logic for M2 and M3. So I implement M2 and M3 here and say that the class D is no longer abstract. So it means that at any point in the hierarchy, you can make your class abstract or you can make your class concrete based on how you implement it. So is that clear to everyone? And is that clear to you, Padma? Okay. So the answer to your question is you need not implement everything in cat. That's the answer. But logically, since we say like a cat is a concrete, we try to implement everything. since we write only the relevant methods in wild animal and fashion show, something like that, which are relevant to cat. Now the next question to everyone. Okay, yeah, that's a good question, Ravi. So Ravi's question is something like this. Let us assume that I did not implement one of the methods, so it becomes abstract. So once it becomes abstract, I cannot create an object for cat class. Yes, that is always a valid scenario. Now the next thing in the hierarchy is, let us assume that you have one more class called special cat. Okay, some special cat which extends from cat class. So in this special cat, if you know the features of walk on ramp, you can implement this and you can make special cat as a concrete class. Now, if you say special cat as concrete, can you create an object for special cat? Yes, you can create an object for special cat, and using that reference variable, you can call any method like walk on ramp or any other method out there. Dressed up, get dressed up, or get makeup, or play with humans, or anything you can call using this object, spcat object. Is that clear? Yeah, we need to have an additional class to call those methods. Yes, exactly. That's what I was about to say. We need to have a concrete class. Okay, that is the reason why on the first day when I explained about abstract classes, I told that for an abstract class, you can never ever create an object. Then the next thing that I told is, if I cannot create an object for an abstract class, then what is the meaning or what is the point in creating an abstract class? Okay, but what you can do, you can create a concrete class as a child class, and you can always make the parent class reference variable point to the child class, or you can always create a child class object and call all the methods which are present in the parent. Okay, yeah, can I explain tiger class why it showed error? Yeah, I will explain that. One second. Okay, let me go to tiger class. And in tiger class, initially when I removed when I removed both the methods, it was showing an error. Why? Because see how many methods a tiger class can see. Tiger class can see two methods which are present in the animal class and two methods which are present in the wild animal class, kill human beings and hunt. So since these two things are abstract, the tiger class also becomes abstract. So since I'm not using a keyword called abstract in this scenario, all I do is, like, I want to make the tiger class as concrete. How can I make it as concrete? I can implement the unimplemented methods and make the tiger class concrete. So Padma, is it clear for you, like why tiger is showing an error now? Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so now uh, yeah, if there are many, then all you need to do is, see, if there are 10 abstract methods that you need to implement, unless you implement all the 10, you cannot make your class as concrete. So decide how to do that and you need to implement it. Okay, now my next question, can I implement pet animal here for tiger also or not? The answer can be yes and can be no. So why S is, so coding wise I can always do that, pet animal. Okay, so tiger is a class which can always implement from multiple interfaces. That is a valid scenario. But logically, I don't want pet animal features for a tiger. So logically, I don't want to do that. But still, uh, I just want to show you that a tiger can also implement from an interface called pet animal. But why I am not doing that is, a tiger, since it is a wild animal, I need only wild animal features, which means even though there are n number of interfaces which are available out there, don't implement from unnecessary interfaces. Implement only from the necessary interfaces that you want. Okay, is it clear now? Yes, exactly, that's correct. Technically, you can implement as many number of interfaces as you want. That is what I try to explain here, like implementing from more than one interface. So you can implement from n interfaces out there. But if an interface does not make sense, don't implement it. That is what I was about to explain. Why? Because pet animal feature does not make sense for a tiger. So don't think that tiger can implement from pet animal. So don't implement it right away. Okay, that's the thing. Clear? So any doubts till this point? Okay, that's good. I'm just stopping the recording here.